Hi, I'm Mike Coyle with Insidexploration. Today I'm here at the top of a ridge on the Newrange property with Bob Archer. Thanks for having us out here, Bob. It's a real pleasure.
Yeah, it's a pleasure having you down here, Mike. Welcome to Nevada.
This is quite the interesting property. After everything we've seen, I got to say I'm pretty intrigued with the mineralization. Just kind of wondering what your areas of focus are currently.
Well, the Pamlico project encompasses several old mines, and this was once a pretty well-known district in Nevada, once known as one of the highest grade gold districts in Nevada. And so we have several of these old mines stretching down what we call the Pamlico Ridge, which is right behind us here. So we have the Pamlico mines, and then the Gold Bar mine, and then the Good Hope mine just south of that. And the three of those comprise a ridge that's about 1.5 kilometers long. And that's really the main focus at the moment, although there's a parallel kind of a ridge canyon valley complex called Gold Box Canyon, and that's just over this little ridge behind us here. So from the western side of Pamlico Ridge over to Gold Box is about a kilometer. So we have this fairly large area, about 1,000 by 1,500 meters to explore, and within that area we have about 300 old mine workings, going back to the days of the old mining, and within that probably more than 8,000 meters of underground workings, and our guys have been mapping and sampling those workings. So that remains the main focus for us right now, and we've got other targets that we want to test as well.
So there's some talk not long ago of you doing some bulk sampling. Is that still something that's in the works?
It's kind of in the works. That would be done at the Merritt Decline, which you can see just down behind us here. You can see the infrastructure, the buildings. That's where the decline was put down, and it's 200 meters long. And if we take the bulk sample, or when we take the bulk sample, it'll be probably close to the bottom of that, where we got the high grade mineralization of 75.5 meters of almost 3 grams. And but in the shorter term, we think we might push that out till next year, because we'd like to really get farther advanced with the underground mapping and sampling that we're doing, get back into drilling a little bit sooner, and start moving more towards developing a resource really before getting into the bulk sampling. So it's just a matter of priorities and what information we can get out of these things. So we'll probably push that out a little bit.
So part of your bulk sampling, or not bulk sampling, but part of your sampling in the old adits would be doing the LiDAR. So you guys are currently working on LiDAR, right?
Yeah, that's correct. We've got a handheld LiDAR unit, which is state-of-the-art, and we're using that to actually survey the old underground workings, because we have no records of these. There are no maps, sections. We really don't know where they are, which poses a problem for our drilling, because it's very difficult to drill this area without knowing where those openings are. Because last year we unfortunately drilled into a couple of them, and you lose some drill rods. It gets expensive. So plus you don't get any information back either. No. So we really want to know where the workings are, and the other advantage of the underground scanner is that it gives you sub-centimeter accuracy. So for the sampling that we're doing underground, we'll know exactly where those samples are coming from, and we can ultimately build all of that into a three-dimensional model that we can incorporate into the resource estimate. So once we do get to drill these areas, we can be combining the underground sampling with the drilling into that 3D model. So it'll be really useful as time goes on. But it is time consuming, because you're working in fairly small openings in areas where you really have no information. Just kind of literally feeling your way along. So it's but the workings are in good shape, and it's great to have them, because it gives us essentially almost free information. It's like a three-dimensional drill hole, horizontal drill holes. So if you think of 8,000 meters of drilling, what that would cost, well over $1 million. And whereas we have access to all of this, and it's just a matter of getting the sampling crews in there to survey and sample it all. So it's great to have it.
And once you have it all mapped out with the LiDAR system, that'll give you a better idea of where to direct your drilling.
Exactly.
Right?
That's right. Yeah.
So when are you looking at putting drills in the ground? Are you hoping to be doing a drilling program this fall?
I'd like to get back to drilling this fall. Yeah. We're getting pretty close to finishing up the surveying sampling in the Good Hope mine. And that's been one area where we've had some really good results that we've press released recently, and we're getting a better understanding of the controls on mineralization in there. So I think as we put all that together and build that model, we will be able to take the drills over there and start poking a few holes down from surface, and then bring it all together. So I think that's certainly one area, and there are a few other areas we can test as well. But at the same time, also this fall, we'd like to get into an IP survey, and covering most of this area along the ridge and down into what we call the pediment zone, which is out on the flats here, out in the valley floor below us. There's a quartz outcrop at the edge of that's assayed almost 5 grams per ton across a sawcut channel sample, and that's the last outcrop before everything disappears under the valley floor. So, and it's never been drill tested. So, that's a primary target for us as well. And if the IP shows up any additional targets, either under the valley floor or shows continuity between that zone and the other zones that we're drilling, then there'll be lots of targets there to test as well.
Absolutely beautiful landscape, as you can see back there. But I think we better wrap this up before the lightning catches up.